This is the Night Wolf, howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Masters of the Universe Blast-Attak figure, the evil blast-apart robotic warrior. I'm however going to be tactful enough not to say what the real-world implications is on this character. On the back of the box, we see Blast-Attak fighting against, well, the two top guys. Wait a minute, is Blast-Attak part of the Horde? I guess it, I never really thought about that. I guess maybe he is. Because he's fighting against the top guy from the Master's side and from Skeletor's side. And, of course, the Snake Men. And it looks like they're outside of the Viper Tower, actually. And yeah, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the two top guys. This is in the collector-friendly packaging, so we just slide this out. These guys on comic book. I picked up a couple of these little round single foot stands here. Seems like perfect timing for this guy. He's got a terrible looking face. Also, oh, there we go. It seemed a bit uneven, but that's just the way it was sitting on the neck. He's got right here one of the dumbest looking weapons ever created for the Masters of the Universe. It looks kind of like a combination of a rifle, an axe, and a fishing pole. I don't even understand how this thing is supposed to work. And I want to know what drugs the person was on who designed it. I think this also came with the original Classics version of the Horde Armored Snake Men. But I don't remember if we got it. I don't think we actually got it with the Mattel release. I think they just gave us the regular Horde equipment. Like, this guy's also got some very meaty meat hooks here. I don't know. I guess since they had to design new hands, they designed some really thick ass fingers on this thing. But like the only place you can really grip them is here or here. So, like, this is so impractical. Period. I don't understand the point. But let's go ahead and take a look at the mini comic that comes with him. But first, we do have his instructions, which shows what he comes with here. The parts that come off. And how to work the figure, which, let's go ahead and do that now. Because he's got this little plunger thing. Oh. You know what? I thought this was going to be like an air hose kind of a thing, but it's not. It's just actually just a quick plunger thing. So we put that on him like so. Boom. And we take a look at his inner workings here, and you can see where all the equipment is that lets him detach. There's a spring inside that side, which is what pushes it out. Once you press these things, which spreads out the two little grips there. I'm not sure if this is the same design as the original toy or if it's different. It's probably pretty close to the same thing, though. But I never had this one as a kid. I never even saw this one as a kid. I don't even think I knew this one existed when I was a kid. But if we take a look at his mini comic here, it's called Something I Can't Pronounce. Paradigm of Power. I feel like I should know that word. I'm not sure why Skeletor and Scareglow are fighting each other, though. All appears at peace on Eternia, but looks are not what they seem. For if one were to fly on the wall in Viper Tower, they might be eaten. Why have you brought us here, Scareglow? I come with an opportunity. All you need is the will to seize it. Yes, why have you brought us to Viper Tower? The Snake Man suffered a humiliating defeat, and the Horde invasion was crushed. Skeletor and He-Man are weak. Now we must establish a new paradigm of power. So that sounds like he's trying to say that, so why is it in a narration bubble? You may have a point, Scareglow. Skeletor is weak indeed. Even Dragster turned him down to become one of his minions. As unfolded in the mini-comic High Velocity. Though Beastman doesn't have the sharpest mind, he remains somewhat loyal. I won't listen. Why would we trade one skull-faced master for a weaker one? The hairy one has a point, Scareglow. What I am proposing is that we become our own masters. We create a new order. Tick, tick. And what do you envision in this new order? First, we conquer Snake Mountain, arresting Skeletor for his ineptitudes. Next comes the fall of Grayskull, and with it the power to control Eternia. Tick, tick, what would you do with your newfound power? For a robot, you aren't very bright. I shall create a wave of fear unlike any felt across the land. All will cower before my mandre from beyond even you. Whether you wield your scythe or fright light, I hold no fear, and I know your true motive, which you've tried to mask. Years ago, you and Ninja were plucked from your dimensions to Eternia against your will. Relive the classic adventures in the mini The Search for Keldor. Skeletor transformed you into a minion in his image. Ever since, it isn't power or dominion you sought, but something far simpler. To return to your true form, to return home. This plot is just a diversion to create a window of opportunity for your escape. Blast-Attak clings to Scareglow as the doors lock and villains try to flee, as a voice speaks from the robot that's all too familiar. Traitors! You dare challenge the natural order of power! Enjoy this special delivery! Tick, 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 kaboom! Far away on the ledge overlooking the three towers of Eternia, an unlikely alliance could observe the aftermath of their plot. Well done, Skeletor. Our plan worked. The balance of power remains. For now, Eternia will be mine. The uneasy masterminds leave, their status kept intact, yet they don't refrain from looking behind their backs. Alright, one of the more interesting mini-comics we've had in a while, so I'm not going to complain too much. So we've used his power, we've got his weapon in hand. All that's left is actually check out the articulation on this dude. So the head spins, as usual, it's on a ball joint. We can look up and down, and side to side, all around. And his neck can be off kilter if you want, to make him look even more weird. Again, I'm not a big fan of that head sculpt. I just don't like the looks of it, but, you know, whatever. Arm spins 360. Hinges a little bit. The design of the body itself does not lend to the full motion of articulation that we've had in previous figures. There is a coupler between his bicep and his forearm, so we can still do the hinge at the elbow, less than 90 degrees, and we can spin it, and the coupler will come off or unhook, so it's not glued into place, which is both good and bad. The hand spins the 360 that way and has in and out articulation, though, again, the design does not lead to much movement there. And the other hand has the same. There is this, like, line in the palm, too, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure why it's there. Oh! I think that's supposed to look like a screw, actually. Like a big old screw there. Obviously, there's no waist articulation because, you know, since he comes apart in half. You know what he reminds me of? Though, seriously? Metalhead from Ninja Turtles, the original toy version. You can kick his leg up, and you can kick it back. We can kick out, about that far. The knee bends, again. The design of the leg here does not seem to be allowing for a full 90 degree. Although it is pretty close. Since the knee is on a peg, it does turn. We still have a boot cut, although it is right underneath this top part here, which honestly I would have expected that to be the top of the boot. And a hinge at the foot. And then we can spin that as well. So I suppose the overall on Blast-Attak here is that he's actually a pretty interesting figure. I mean, like, I never had him as a kid, so I don't have any of that, like, nostalgia for him. But I do like the concept, you know, that he kind of blows apart as an attack. It would have been kind of cool if they'd set up some kind of a cap system in him too, but I guess that would have been the old days, not today, because they wouldn't do that today, right? That being said, I mean, that's the same face I think he had in the original toy, and I think it just looks terrible. But it's a recreation of an old toy, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. It's not like they had much of a choice in that matter, because the Origins figures are supposed to look like the old ones from the 80s, more or less, with some exceptions. And I think this one does a good job of that. I wish I did have the original one to look at, or if somebody does have the original one, can you let me know if the internal workings work the same way, or if they made modifications to the modern one? Because that I'm very curious about. Aside from that, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this figure and his stupid ass looking weapon? Which again, an axe, a rifle, and a fishing rod, none of which seem to be particularly functional as their weapons, right? But if you want to comment below, please feel free. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to blow apart that like button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. Heck, you can even hit the notification bell if you want. I thank you for watching. Peace, and oh, wait a minute. Just give you a quick update on our last Mattel Creations exclusive, if you made it this far. I finally heard back from Mattel. I emailed them right away about the missing part, and at first they said that that was not an issue, and then I wrote back to let them know that it was to be more specific in it, and sent them a picture. I should actually do a video about those emails. But finally, I got a FedEx label that I could not print at home because it didn't work. I had much the same issue with trying to return the She-Ra Power Sword to Big Bad Toy Store with the FedEx labels. So I don't know what the hell's wrong with FedEx's website that they don't want to print the labels. And then you have to go to a FedEx place with a brand new one to get it to work. But aside from that, I just shipped off that figure today, and I expect a replacement to come sometime in the next week or so. So I'll have a complete version. Thanks again for watching. Peace and love.